Okay, perfect. So, film starts off, and I'm like automatically the reason why I thought I was gonna enjoy this film. I need to pull it up because the film is just super fucking long. I'm not gonna be able to like remember everything like off like the top of my head or like accurately. So I'm just gonna kind of skim through the film as I'm yapping about it. So when it starts off, like the reason why I thought I was gonna like it is because like it just had that look about it. Like sometimes like, you could just look at a show, you could tell it's gonna be good. And like this film gave off that entire vibe. I was looking at it, I was like, bro, like the first like couple of frames left of the production, like this just looks like it's gonna be fire. So it starts off, narrator's yapping, and it shows like the moon, yada yada, right, which plays an important role later or whatever. Okay, long story short, they're yapping about like the time period or whatever, and I'm like, what the fuck are they like yapping about? And they're like, this is a story about the past, and like this is a story actually in the future, and I'm like, what are they talking about? And then it turns out it's like a VR game. I'm like, I was thinking like it was gonna be like some like SAO shit, like sign like that. It's not. Basically, we get introduced to the main girl, right? And she's like role model student, perfect student, yada yada, right? Like super talented at the instruments, perfect scores, blah blah blah. And then we also figure out that she moved out. They kind of write off like haha silly, but like she was arguing with her mom or whatever. Like her mom would like like arguing all that shit, and then like she moved out. They're in high school, that typical anime logic, and she's living on her own, right? And she's like working part-time jobs and all that stuff, right? And they kind of like hint at it, well, not a hint, they kind of like directly tell you multiple times, like she's like overworking herself and yada yada, but like they don't like really get into it until like later in the film. So that's like the first things that we get. And I was looking at the film and I was like, okay, this is looking like I'm gonna like this, because it just gave off the vibe that was gonna be a good film. We had them building up the story, the voice acting was good, the backgrounds, the aura, it just gave off all the vibes that this is gonna be a good film. And I'm like, I need to lock in, because I'm about to experience 2 hours and 22 minutes of absolute peak, okay, absolute cinema, right? And then, hold up, yeah, okay, this happens. Okay, so we see a shooting star, right? Like, main girl, like, she's like getting off her day and she's super fucking tired, whatever, right? And we see a shooting star, it's going by, and I'm like, the name of the film is it's like I can't speak, Cosmic Princess Kaguya, right? And I'm like, cosmic shooting star, okay, I see where they're going with this, right? I'm like, that's where we get introduced to the second girl, right? Because I also know, Hook told me that was Yuri, right? So I was like, this is where the second girl pops in, and then we get the romance, right? I'm like, oh my god, it's about to be fire, right? And instead, do you know what the fuck I get? Do I get meted with? Shooting star falls right outside her house into a pole, and the pole starts glowing, right? A whole bunch of different colors, and then the narrator refers to a gaming rig, and then I look at my PC and I see all the RGB on it. I'm like, low key, they're kind of spinning facts. Anyways, the fucking pole gets like a little like door, like a circular door out of it with bamboo, and I'm like, what the fuck what am I watching, right? She opens up the door and there's a goddamn baby, and I'm like, huh? There's a baby. And then let me play this, because I want oh my god, wait, they're kind of going crazy with the camera angles. Hold up. Give it a sec. Okay, wait. Okay. They kind of took the comedy here. Anyways, there's a fucking baby, right? And I'm like, why? I'm like, what? I was like, this is not the year I was expecting, right? So I was thinking like, okay, there's a baby, whatever. I was like, she should probably call the cops. And she was just she goes like, I'm too busy in life right now. Then she starts walking off, right? And I'm like, yeah, that's like, whatever, right? And then after that, immediately after she starts doing that, some like drunk dude goes by, and then there's like crows and shit. The street is just like real like fucking fucked up or whatever, and it just gives off the vibe. They're like, maybe she shouldn't leave this baby here. I'm just like, call the cops, bro. She takes the baby home, and the baby starts crashing out. The neighbor starts banging on her door because they like wanting the baby to shut up, right? And she was freaking out on the street because she was like, people are gonna feel like I'm kidnapping this baby or some shit, right? And anyways, she looks up like how to get the baby to stop crying, right? She gets the baby to stop crying, whatever. She sings a lullaby by this one, like one of her like favorite singers, whatever, right? This also is important for later, okay? Basically, after she gets done doing that, she decides to call the cops, and she starts explaining, yeah, there was like a shooting star, and then it went into the pole, and the pole started glowing, and then a bamboo door opened up, and then yada yada, and there was a baby inside, right? And I think she realized how fucking stupid all of that sounded, and then she was like, ah, never mind, I was just making it all up, and then she like just hung up, whatever, right? Because the cop like was like, the cop was like, what the fuck are you talking about, right? Anyways. That happens, okay? And I'm like, generational so, you should have just not said what actually happened. Like, but whenever there's scenarios like that, bro, like, I hate it when I'm looking like a horror movie or something like that, and then the person in the movie explains it how it's actually happening. Like, they call the cops and they're like, yeah, there's a fucking ghost in my house and it's throwing around shit and this and that and I need help. Like, you don't say that. You say someone broke into your house just to get them over there, okay? You don't actually tell them what's going on because they're not going to believe you. They're going to think you're crazy, okay? Anyways, basically, she starts taking care of the baby, right? And we get a montage of her taking care of the baby for like a couple days, right? Or over her 3-day weekend, okay? She was real excited about the 3-day weekend, okay? Because she was like, I'm gonna get 6 hours of sleep for the first time, right? Basically, we get a montage of her taking care of this baby. And wait, let me go to the film to make sure that I'm keeping up with the time of events. Yeah, and then she goes to sleep on the floor, and the baby, like, okay, this nigga, I already knew this was up to some shit, right? Because I was like, this baby fell from the sky. I was thinking this is like a skinwalker, yada yada, blah blah blah. The baby grew like a full set of fucking hair in one night. I was like, brother, it started glowing, okay? I'm like, yeah, this is like whatever, right? She kinda thinks it's an alien. Kinda, right? Like, I guess we're not wrong in kinda thinking that, but then baby evolves, like, I'm talking evolving like Rising of the Shield Hero and Raptalia, whatever the fucking name was, went from like kid to like full grown in like the span of an episode. Baby evolves into like baby into fucking like, I don't know, like 12, I don't know, like a 12-year-old or some shit. Also, right, so like that happens, right, in like the span of like 2 or 3 days, and she's like, you need to get out, right? She's like, I'm kicking you out, right? She's like, I'm not dealing with this. And then they start arguing, yada yada. It's looking kind of funny, and like so far, like the movie's good, right? The movie's good. We're kind of just getting like differences, like glimpses in between of like the home life mixed in with like the school whatever life, right? Work life, whatever the fuck, right? From her like perspective, for the most part. Like pretty much all from her perspective, actually. Anyways, then she goes from like 12 to like fucking full, like literally her age, right? Like teenager, and she's also just like became like way more smart, right? So like obviously an alien, okay? And like later in the fucking movie, she's able to like change her hair color and do a whole bunch of other alien shit, which is also, you know, you get the gist, right? She's an alien, obviously, right? Who fell from the well, we'll get into that. Let me keep in the order of events here, right? So we're kind of just getting like this dynamic, and so far I'm enjoying the film, okay? I'm like, I don't know exactly where they're going with it, but so far it's good, right? So far I'm chilling. I think it's cool, yada yada. We also get to learn that she's really good at video games, right? The main girl, she's really good at video games. The VR game, which we only saw like the opening, like kind of shot kind of thing, and that's what I thought was going to be heavily centered around. But then we're 20 minutes into the film, we haven't seen anything else about it. So I was like, okay. Basically, she's going out with her friends, right? Main girl, and they're like taking her to some cafe or whatever the fuck, right? Cause like she helped them out with studying, yada yada. It was supposed to be a gift. She told the alien chick to stay in her apartment, right? Like to not leave the apartment, okay? And of course, she left the apartment and also stalked her the entire day and followed her around, right? Main girl, okay? And they're eating at the cafe. She starts like fucking, she goes over there and she starts eating the food, and then her main girl has to explain to her friends and stuff. She's like, yeah, it's my cousin and all that, right? And like this like whole ordeal after we get a crash out, yada yada, right? Overall, it's still chill. Then 20, 23, 24-ish minutes, they introduce, we see the VR game again, right? And this is going to play a major role or whatever in the fucking film, okay? And they introduce it again 24 minutes in. Up until this point, I have, like, pretty much no complaint. My only complaint with the film is, like, I don't see where they're going with it. But at the same time, it could kind of just be like 2 hours of slice of life shit, and I'd be chill with it. Okay, I wouldn't really mind that, right? But like, it was overall just like chill, right? The first like 22-ish minutes was just chill, right? Then they introduced the VR game, and this is where like I'm kind of like, this is where I kind of get mixed about it, right? They introduced it, real montage, and it's like all this, and I'm kind of like, yeah, okay, I'm okay, you know, like it's alright. There's like this like singing thing. Also, all the singing in this show's in English. All the singing in this show's in English. So like, you know, that was kind of different. And some of the songs were fire, right? It's like anime songs in English. I'm thinking or assuming it's not like the type of normal English songs like lyrical wise. And like there was like one like partway through the film that I really liked, but outside of that, I just thought that was noteworthy. You know, that was pretty chill. But overall, we see like this concert with this main girl, right? Like they kind of like already like explained it, but she likes looking at this one VTuber. Like she watches a VTuber, okay? And she's like a super huge fan of her, right? And basically she just likes video games a lot, she likes this VTuber a lot, and I'm just like, but there's a Discord mod, okay? And basically this like VTuber whatever, right? She's like a big part of like this like one like virtuality game, right? The virtuality game that they're playing, okay? Like the big one, right? Think of it of like Sword Art Online, like how that one game at the beginning of Sword Art Online was like the super popular game that everyone was playing until it became a death game. Like it's like that, but without the death game aspect, and instead it's just the actual game, right? But it's like super realistic and all of that, like more realistic than Sword Art Online. Outside the fact that you can't taste stuff, you can't taste anything in the game, you know? So that's like the only thing that I guess you can't really do, or smell. They did mention those specifically. Basically, we get to see a concert of this VTuber or whatever, and I was like, it's alright, right? Like this song wasn't like that crazy. It was like, I was like, okay, right? But I think this is me just having like my aversion to VTubers, okay? Like even though it's an anime and like it looks like an anime, all that, like the thought that like this is a VTuber in the anime, I'm like, I'm just like, like whatever, okay? I'm just a hater. Basically, we get introduced to the fucking wait, do we not? I thought we got introduced. Wait. Yeah, okay, we do. We introduced to like these 3 characters in the virtual game, right? And everyone's like glazing them, right? Everyone glazes the VTuber girl. Like everyone's just like super fans. Right? All of them are just a bunch of simps. It's either simps or fans or whatever, right? But like just glazes, okay? And people also glaze this like trio or whatever called like the Onyx or the Oni-X or whatever the fuck, I don't know what it's called, right? And basically, I forgot to mention, huge part I forgot to mention, so in the game, everyone's a creator or like essentially, or like a streamer, if that makes sense. And the more your following gets up, like the more like these like token things you get from the admins, and like essentially it's like a big popularity contest, I guess, right? Of who's like the best entertainer or whatever, right? And they're like the second highest rank outside of the fucking one girl, right? Who main character girl is like a glazer of, right? So basically, we get to introduce this trio, and then there's like some event announced, right? Where like basically like the main like VTuber, right? Like she's gonna do a collab or whatever with the second highest ranked streamer of like who gets the most followings, and it's called like the Yochiriri Cup. It's like a tourney, okay? I was thinking like dual cash cup. This is a Fortnite, like I was thinking like that kind of cup, but it kind of was like that, but kind of wasn't like that, but like for streamers, right? Anyways, and they get to like a huge collab, yada yada, right? And basically, Alien is like, I'm gonna make it my goal to win this, right? Like they just decided I was gonna win this, right? And the main girl's like, fuck no. And Alien's like begging her to help her and all this shit, because she's like, you're so talented and I need your help with this. And she decides to help her, right? She gives in eventually, okay? And they start doing that, and it starts going well. And again, the comedy at just different points, like the comedy in this movie is like consistently like actually like pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. Looking back on it, like especially like the beginning parts, it was good. The fake ending shit, which later on that got me completely. And like, they don't normally give me fake endings. I normally always spot it when it's a fake ending. But overall, like, the comedy is just like, it was consistently good. So I'll give them that, right? But basically, they're like talking shit. And like the second thing, they're like, we're gonna win this entire thing already, right? Like the Onyx or whatever the fuck you wanna call them, the trio, okay? And I don't really like him, right? Because I was like, ugh. I was just like, ugh. Like, the main guy, he's like confident. He's like Peter by level confident, bro. But I'm like, yeah. Ever since time he pops on the screen, I just kind of cringe, right? Anyways, basically, this gets announced. They start doing this. We get another montage, right? And like, she's like doing like, this entire streaming gig, right? And like, main girl's helping out and stuff, and like all that, right? And while this is happening, there's like, so like, main girl plays piano and like does like music and shit, right? But she doesn't do it anymore. But she still like does like the piano part, but like she like made her own songs like in the past. Like, every girl finds out, she's like, you need to make me songs and stuff, yada yada, right? Like original songs, right? And then she's like, no. And then like later she's like, yes, because she gives in, because that's kind of like a reoccurring theme. Like, the alien will just press something over and over again, and like she'll eventually give in, right? Basically, she gives in, right? And like, they start doing like their own songs, yada yada. Overall, it's still pretty chill. Main girl gets sick like 50 minutes into the film, right? And it's like towards like that more like overworking thing, right? Like they kind of like talk about it more, like touching it more, whatever. And she was gonna say something, but she doesn't say it. And I was like, what the fuck was she gonna say? But like, we don't know. And basically, right, like she ends up saying it later in the film. I will get to that. So then, the one girl, right? She's like at like 43 now, like the streamer thing, whatever, right? She's initially like 89,000, I think, or something like that. And like, you know, she's been grinding, right? And now she's like 43, and she's like, there's not enough time. I'm not gonna win at this rate. She's like, I wish the second rank streamers, whatever, would just decide to fight us, right? Like the trio, whatever, would just decide to fight us, and then we just beat them, and then we'll get a whole bunch of followers from us and shit, right? That's essentially what she said. And main girl's like, no, they're like the best of the best, just glazing, no confidence, okay? No confidence. And it was just glazing, it was just like, we would lose and all this stuff, and that's just a horrible idea. As they're talking about this, they decide to challenge them, right? Because like, people like you know, like, they decided to challenge them because when the alien decided to do like the streamer thing, whatever, she like announced it, she like yelled it like super duper loud so everyone heard. And initially it was like, yeah, right, like Buddy's gonna do anything, right? Like, Buddy's just gonna become a streamer, it's gonna be successful right away. And then she like rose up the ranks like super quickly, right? And people like think like, oh yeah, this is gonna be the person to surpass the whatever, the trio, right? So the trio challenges them, they accept, right? And then after that, so like, at that point, I think we are literally like 55 minutes into the film. And this is the part of the film that I think was just, for the beginning section of this like arc, if you will, this like entire like thing, it was bad, okay? I'm gonna explain why it was bad, okay? Because I'm not just hating to hate here, okay? There's a good reason why. So they start off like this game, and it's like a 3v3. So, it was a 3v3. It turned into a 2v3, and then they had to throw in the number one streamer, whatever, right? They had to throw in that girl, because what happened was the third member was like head over heels for like one of the people on the other team, and like brother like blew her a kiss or some shit, and then she passed out, okay? And like, they were trying to wake her up. It was this whole other thing, right? It was a whole other thing, right? But whatever. They call in the main girl. She drops in, and I'm like, okay, this is interesting, right? Because like, we haven't really seen a lot of her, so I'm like, okay, we're gonna see like fight, whatever. And I was also like, we're about to see the fighting of this show. The only like action we've seen up to this point was like one shot at the very, very beginning of the film, and it was a good shot, and it looked good, and I was like, okay. But we're about to like actually action, right? We also saw like a montage. It was a separate thing that happened. There's like a lot of things I'm kind of missing out. Think about it. There was like a separate thing that happened where like the alien was like so a whole bunch of people just like in her chat, a whole bunch of gooners, bro, a whole bunch of simps were like, marry me, right? And then she's like, I only marry y'all guys if like one of y'all guys beat the fucking the main character girl, right? Not the alien girl. The alien girl was like, I only marry one of y'all guys if y'all guys can beat this girl. And again, right, she's really good at the game or whatever, right? And from my knowledge, after watching the film, there's like the only people really better than her are like pros and shit, right? Like mainly like the main trio, and then this one, the one fucking number one streamer, whatever, right? So she bodied all them, right? And the action for those scenes, they were short, they were quick action scenes, right? It wasn't anything crazy, but it was good, right? So going to this, I was like, I don't know how they're gonna do. I don't know what I'm expecting for like a drawn out action scene, or what seems like it's gonna be a drawn out action scene. The action was good, okay? There was like some shots that were kind of like, It was mainly like one shot that was just kind of like goofy, but like outside of that, the action was good like throughout. And for me, like I don't have high standards with action, so like normally I'll always say action's good. Like as long as it's not just like constant PNGs, I'll say action's good. But with this, like it's not even just me of doing that thing of like just saying the action, because like no, the action was actually just good. Like it wasn't like Jujutsu Kaisen level or like fucking Solo Leveling, like Freeman or one of those type of shows. It wasn't that good, but it was like really good stuff. Like I like if those were like 10 out of 10s and like above that, whatever, this was like a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, like easily, right? Like, it was just good action, right? The issue was with, I feel like the pacing, like first of all, okay, it was hard to follow what was happening at some parts during the fights. And it wasn't like the type where like when I watched like the Chainsaw Man movie, like that was hard to follow the fights sometimes. Like it got like messy, right? Or like muddy during like some of like the fight scenes. It wasn't like that type of difficult. They were just like swapping like back and forth angles a lot, because like how it worked is like it was a 3v3. There was these like 2 different towers, and then there was like this another thing like the middle, and basically they had to like secure them essentially. And that's also nothing, right? They didn't explain that. This is one of the main issues that I had with this entire scene, right? And the reason why it was kind of confusing for like the first half, and the reason why the second half was way better than the first half, is because by the second half I figured out what was going on, because they didn't really explain the game. They just jumped that in. When like it would have been perfect how like My Hero will like literally like in My Academia, how they'll just yap about like exactly what's happening, especially when like the students like class A versus class B or whatever the fuck it was would like go against each other. Do you know how like they would explain what they're doing like before like the narrator just yap and like explain it in like detail, like exactly how it's gonna work and stuff, because like you know the parameters. That's what they needed for this, but they didn't do that, right? So like they just kind of imagine like you're like watching My Hero, and then they just throw you right in, and then they just get right into it, and the game's not known at all, right? And you have very like little to go off of, right? So like you're kind of just watching, and like you're kind of figuring out as it goes along. Essentially, it just made it confusing in the beginning. I was like, I don't know what the goals are. I don't know who's doing better than the other one, because I don't really know exactly what the objectives were, and I didn't know until it was like too late, right? The Onyx team, whatever, they take the first round, okay? And I didn't realize until last second, because I didn't even realize if they were winning really or not. And they take the first round, right? We also, through that, I learned that they can respawn. I also learned that they needed to go after the towers. And I also learned that but the one thing I did understand off rip is that they were doing the Onyx team, whatever, they were like super confident. They were doing like this like trident strat thing, whatever the hell it's called, which essentially they were just having one person go down each lane, because they were like, yeah, we can just fight multiple at once. Like if they decide to like jump us all in one lane, like they can just, one of us can hold their own, whatever, right? Like they were just super confident like that, I guess. And like I was kind of thinking it was like a League of Legends kind of deal, or like a Smite kind of deal, like how it worked. And then I was kind of like, it's not exactly like that. But basically, by the second half, I got the game way better. I also learned that, or I also kind of had I understood that like, so essentially like what they needed to do was they needed to go down each lane, whatever, right? Like there's these 3 different lanes, obviously. And each of them have like a boss. You need to like get through all these like NPCs and shit, like all these like mini soldiers and stuff, to then get to the main boss, and then you need to kill the main boss. And whichever team kills the main boss gets it. Also, there's a certain amount of lives that each member has. If they use up all the lives, then they're out for that round, okay? And there is multiple rounds. So, like, it's like, I think it's like best out of 3 or whatever, right? And basically, they win first round. They switch up their strat second round. So they decided to use this like flying thing in the sky, that whatever, because apparently the map that they were on didn't have like a height limit or something, yada yada yada, right? Basically, they use this fine thing on this guy to jump the main guy that's like super duper good at the game, whatever, red hair guy, whatever. Also, during these fights, we learn that main character girl is the main red hair guy is friends with her brother, or no. The main red hair guy, the main guy, the best one or whatever, right? The best, like the pro, whatever, right? He is the main character girl's brother, okay? And we're kind of getting like some family issues revealed or whatever, because like still like the mom, he's like yada yada, like you should come back. She gets worried, yeah, whatever, right? And like we kind of get some shit there, but we already knew there was some shit going on there, okay? We already knew like there was like some there was a fucked up situation going on with my mom from the beginning, right? Basically, they win the second round, and then the third round, which at this point I understand the game now, and this is when this arc got way better, okay? Like, I don't think it was that bad, right? The action wasn't bad and all that stuff, and it could have been enjoyable. I was just lost for the first 2 rounds. I was understanding how the game worked, and then by the third round I understood how the game worked. If they had just explained it for like a minute, like 60-second quick summary on how it worked and the rules and parameters for the viewers, then this entire thing would have been way more enjoyable. So at this point, I wasn't enjoying this. Like, I didn't like the first round or the second round really that much. And then by the third round, I was like, okay, I understood what was going on, right? Ends up being a final showdown between the main guy and Alien and main character girl, right? And they're 2v1ing him, okay? But they're still kind of getting their asses handed to them because he's better, right? He's just skill diff, right? But they end up winning, yada yada. And that fight was kind of hype. I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of tough. And then after that, I was thinking like, it's in the home run. This is so easy, right? I thought like they guaranteed one. He still had a life left, and he was running back, and I was like, but from the way how they're making it seem, they're gonna guaranteed win. He ends up getting back. They fucking fumble. They end up losing the round, right? And then they lost the thing. And I was like, generational sell, whatever. They end up getting more followers anyways, because everyone was just like so hyped with them, right? So everyone was like, oh my god, this is fire, right? So basically, they end up winning the thing, and then they get to go and do like the collab concert thingy, okay? And I was like, okay, cool, right? That ends up happening, and then after that, they're doing like the concert, and it's chill. Oh, like it's not chill, but like it was actually pretty okay. First song, I was like, First song, I was like, it's alright. And then second song was way better in my opinion. I enjoyed that, and I was actually getting into it. And then after that, there's these like Cretans or whatever, right? These like little fucking weird guys, right? And like, first of all, everyone's thing like kind of flashes to, like the moon. Like everyone's like screens and stuff, and then like even in like the real world, even like the non-virtual world, people's like phone screens are flashing the moon and stuff, right? And like people are like some people even like seeing like these weird like creatures, right? And like glowing like spirits, if you will, right? And everyone's like, what the fuck? And they start all trying to go after Alien Girl, right? And the one like main, like the one girl that the main character girl glazes, okay, like the streamer or whatever, she just like, you know, swats him away, and she's like, must have just been a bug in the game or some shit. She's like, you know, probably just some kids hacking or whatever, right? I'm like, I was like, I don't know about that one, right? Whatever. And basically, by this point, we already know that girl's an alien, and we already know that she came from the moon, or we already think that she came from the moon, right? So the reason why is because they named her Kaguya or whatever, and then in the beginning of the story, the main character's yapping about like this fairy tale of like Kaguya or whatever, like the moon princess, whatever that we use. I think they also mentioned this fairy tale in Love Is War. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure they mentioned it in Love Is War, a different show that I've watched. I think it's just like a normal fairy tale, and like this story's just using it. But basically, she was yapping about that, and they were talking about their differences like endings, right? Like the main girl, she was like saying how like the normal ending is just fine with her, right? And the normal ending, the alien was like, fuck no, that ending sucks, right? She didn't like the ending, right? And like how the ending worked is like this like princess fell from the moon, yada yada, an old guy took her in, and I don't know if he raised her or whatever, and then after that she was getting forced to get married or whatever, and I was like, what the fuck? And then she ends up getting taken back to the moon, right? And like the people tried fighting for her or whatever, and they end up losing the fight, and she got taken to the moon, and it was like whatever, and she didn't like the ending, right? She didn't like the ending when she went back to the moon, whatever, right? It's very obvious that she's the Princess Kaguya, right? But like, it's not like definitive, like everyone hasn't like said like, yeah, this is definitely how it is, right? Anyways, the only person that knows she's an alien at this point is the main character, right? No one else knows. Basically, after that entire spiel, they're just chilling on the couch in the house. They ended up getting a new house, right? Because they were living in a tiny ass apartment before. But there was like, since like they wanting to follow a game or whatever, the Onyx or whatever the fuck they are, she made a deal with her brother, because I guess her brother got money like that, and he was like, she was like, because like the deal was like, if I win, I get to marry Kaguya, and if you win, then you get to ask for whatever I want. But of course, he wasn't gonna actually marry her, okay? He literally said that, and then he got right, and she was like, I want a house. she was like, be a co-signer. He could have just paid for the house, but she was like, I guess she wanted to do it herself or whatever. I was like, you should start a house pay for you, whatever, right? So then we get a new house. Basically, after that, they are like chilling in the new house, and this was like it kind of just takes on like a more like turn, like the film up until now, okay. Like, it was good for the first, like, up until the VR thing was introduced. It was, like, really good. And after the VR thing got introduced, I kind of wasn't really feeling it. It was kind of, but I was like, it's whatever, right? It's still, like, good or whatever, right? And, like, then they're doing the Shin montage. I was like, okay, it's still, like, good. But I don't really know, like, where it's gonna round off at. I didn't really see where the film was going. I was just worried about the ending. Because I'm like, if the ending's not good, or whatever they're building this up to isn't good, then I don't know what they're gonna do. And after this entire spiel of everything I just yapped about, you would think that I was like, but this is like everything in the film that I felt like they were gonna do, right? But we're only an hour in. We're only an hour and like 10 minutes in, and it's a 2 hour and 20-minute film. We're only halfway through. We're not even actually no. By this point, we're not even halfway through the film. We're like almost halfway through the film, right? We're like 5 minutes away from halfway in the film. I'm like, what is the next hour gonna be about? Like, what was the next hour and 10 minutes gonna be about, right? Because it's like everything rounding it off. And, like, I'm glad that they didn't end it off there, because I feel like that ending would have, like, if they ended off there, like, it would have been good, because, like, it just didn't have, like, the full, like, ending vibe, right? But I was like, I don't know what they're gonna do, right? I wanted this film to be good, because, like, I kind of went into it with, like, some expectations. I was kind of hyped for it, and I was just like, bro, I don't know what they're doing, man. Like, I feel like it has potential, but I don't know where they're going with it. And I'm like, okay, they're probably gonna do some shit where the moon people are trying to take back the princess for obvious reasons, and then it's like this entire ordeal, and then she's gonna end up taking back the princess, and there's gonna be a Yuri, and like they live happy ever after, yada yada yada. And I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 because every Yuri that has a happy ending, I give like a 10 out of 10, obviously, right? So that's what I was thinking it was gonna happen. I wasn't entirely wrong, but I was not right either. I was not right at all. I was actually very wrong in a lot of regard, right? So what happens instead is they get the house, yada yada. It's still pretty chill. They do the concert, and that was pretty dope. Okay, like the first half I wasn't feeling it, and then second half I was feeling it. I feel like that's kind of a recurring theme in this film, because the fucking fighting thing too. I wasn't feeling it for the first half, and second half I was feeling it. But that was mainly because they just didn't explain the game rules. Basically, they are now we're getting like right, like they're in like their success era right now, right? Like she's like popular as a streamer. They're not like struggling financially to my knowledge, right? Like they're in a bigger house. I'm like, it's just up, right? Everything's just looking up, right? It's all chill. And I'm like, brother, like obviously like the romance vibes are getting up to. I'm like, dog, this is fire. Okay, this is fire. I'm like, dog, they could just keep it going in this file. Like we're chilling, but I already know they're not going to because there's an hour left. Like they're definitely gonna have like some more conflict going on, right? And basically, what happens is they have this talk, which I need to rewatch this scene because it's like one of those scenes where like I kind of didn't like realize like what exactly was going on. Like it was a lot more like subtle. I feel like the word subtle is what I'm looking for. Like they were like talking, and like both of them already had like an understanding of what was going on, but I didn't get it revealed to me later, and I didn't pick up on it. So I want to like rewatch it just because like I feel like this scene's like kind of important. I feel like there's another scene somewhere too, but I'll find that one later. But there's like 2 or 3 different scenes in this show, not in this movie, that it's like you kind of need to be like dialed in to like pick up on like what's going on, like right away at least. But basically, they're doing this talk, and I kind of just got that like feeling. I just got that feeling, like that kind of sad feeling, right? And then it's revealed that like whatever, right? She's like she has to go back home, right? Go back to like the moon, whatever, right? And she explains how like a month, like they're gonna take her back to the moon, and I'm like, oh fuck no. So I'm like, okay, but I'm like thinking in my head like it's fine because it's gonna have a happy ending. Like this has to have a happy ending, right? Like it doesn't give off this like the vibe of a story's gonna have a bad ending. So what happens is, she decides to start. Wait, let me see. Is this what she decides? Yeah, okay. She's like making the song or whatever that her and her dad were making, her first ever song, right? So like there was like this song that the alien found over, right? And it was like only like halfway finished, and she was like, what was up with this, right? And she was like, oh, I didn't have time to finish that one, right? And the reason why she was kind of avoiding it, and also the reason why she kind of like stopped like music, is because her dad got her into music, and her dad died, which we already knew, right? Because we got like this like one like scene with it, right? And her dad died, right? And basically, I think also after that is kind of when her mom switched up as well, because like we had like this one like flashback, and it was like them, like her like really happy as a kid, and her dad was teaching her music, and then her mom was also in there like kind of vibing, it was like chill. And then after her dad died, her mom was like, if you're gonna do music, you need to play flawlessly. And her dad had like the opposite, like what is the word, anthology, or what, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but the different principles when it came to, like, he believed that like, oh, when you're making music, right, you just need to be like free and stuff, and like you need to like, you know, like do whatever. I don't remember the exact lines he said, but he's basically like, you need to like feel the music and just like do what you want, right, and be like free with the music, whatever, right, and not like play like a robot. And that's her mom was essentially saying the other thing, right? I was kind of getting vibes like Your Lie in April vibes from like the main character for Your Lie in April's mom was like super like strict on him. She's like, you need to play it perfectly, while everyone else is kind of like playing it like with like emotion, if you will. But basically, she was revisiting that song because the alien wanted her to make it, or start remaking it, and she decided to, because like she said stop because her dad died, like whatever, and then she tried to make a couple songs other than that one, and it was like whatever, right? She starts, it didn't feel like the same, whatever, right? So she starts remaking this song, and I'm like, this is like kind of like Character Growth, whatever, right? She's like revisiting her past and shit, and she talks about how she can't remember a specific part of it or something like that. She can't remember how it's supposed to end, right? Like how like they were planning on ending it, I'm assuming. And she's like messing off with the song, whatever, right? And she's like trying to figure it out. Then she goes behind, alien goes back, main character girl goes up to the fucking what am I thinking of? The one female, right? The main one, right? The number one, right? That everyone glazes, okay? And basically, she goes up to her, and then she also gets all the other like really good players in the fucking virtual game, right? All together, and they're planning on fighting off the thing that's gonna try to take the princess or whatever, okay? Because also, let me explain. So the princess was explaining how they're gonna probably take her in the virtual world because getting the moon and the earth are very far apart, whatever, right? But in the virtual world, it's a lot closer. Like they're able to just travel in the virtual world a lot easier over to there. So they're gonna take her in the virtual world, right? Like that's how like they're gonna get her, right, from the virtual world. That's what the princess was saying, okay? Because like going to the actual Earth would be like, you know, the Earth and moon are far apart, okay? Yeah. So they like that would be difficult, whatever, right? And basically, she got us all them together, whatever, and all like the elite gamers, right, if you will, right? And she's like, yo, just help me fight this off and shit, and they're like, yeah, right? And basically, they are planning on fighting it off. She doesn't tell this to Alien, right? But basically, the alien wants to do like another concert, right, before she leaves, right? Because she's like having a lot of fun here, and it's also why I was kind of just sad, because like she was having like so much fun on normal Earth, and the moon is like boring as fuck, whatever. And apparently everyone does like the same menial task, and like it's just shitty, okay? The moon's just shitty, okay? No one likes the moon. Everyone's boring as fuck, and they all do like the same tasks, like they all like work and do like the same thing over and over again. And she was considered like an oddball because she was like all about being free spirited and shit, and like I don't know, being a person, right? And everyone else is kind of just like an alien, okay? Everyone else is kind of just like a like an alien, and they kind of act like an alien, okay? While she acts like a human, right? So she's like the oddball there, right? And basically, she doesn't want to go back, but she's like, I am going back, right? She just tries to like accept it, I guess. And what ends up happening, right? She's doing like the final like performance or whatever, like the final like singing thing and shit, and it's like hype or whatever. And then we get to see them fighting as the song's going, okay? And I'll give them credit. That was pretty, that was a nice like setup there. And we have like the concert, and we have the singing, and we have them fighting, like trying to hold them off at the same time. And the action here got really good. I don't remember it exactly. I just remember it being pretty fucking hype. And like the fight, it was just good. Again, the action in the show is good, and the fight scenes do cook. The only reason why the ones early didn't cook is because I didn't understand the game, so I didn't understand what I was looking at. I didn't understand what's happening. But this one, there's clear stakes. I understand what's happening, right? But basically, it was dope as fuck, okay? And they're fighting like this, like the moon creatures, if you will, and it looks like they're winning, right? It was like they were fighting, it was like real close, but it looked like they were winning. And then it's like, damn, because like they like do all this shit to like kill off all of them, and then right after they just spawn in like that times like a fucking 100, and it's like, oh, so they're just fucked, like it's whatever, right? And right, they end up losing, okay? They end up losing, and after that, Princess gets taken away. And like they put like this cloak over her, which like makes her like forget all their memories, which is also in the fairy tale, okay? And then she like dips. And when they do that, she also confesses to the main girl how she loves her and stuff, right? Which is like the Yuri aspect, I guess, right? And I'm like, fuck this show, man. I'm like, this is ass, right? But I'm thinking like there's gonna be something to change this, and nothing happens. They move on. We get this sad. We see main girl sad, right, and just shit and whatever. And she goes over like an entire summer break, just like I think it was an entire summer break, just like depressed and just like sad and shit. I'm like, this is so fucked. And after that, then like she's talking about colleges and stuff, right? How she's like planning on law school and all this because she's like super smart and she's like whatever, right? And they're making it really seem like this is the ending of the movie, like this is it, like this is what you get. And then they give me like this sappy ass, like not like sappy, yeah, sappy, is the word sappy? No, it's like just like this like final ass like thing where it's like real like cliche like Romeo Juliet bullshit that she says, where it's like, you live on my heart, some shit. And I'm like, and then like they start playing the end credits, and first of all, I was just like, what is this ending? I was like, this is shit. And that's why I paused it, and I was just like contemplating life for like 3 minutes of how ass this was. And I was like, this film sucks. And I'm like, I'm gonna go fucking record myself for an hour or an hour and a half, and I'm just gonna shut on the entire film because they wanted to end it so assly, right? And then it's like a complete psych, and it actually got like those never get me. And like if I just looked at how much time was left, there was 30 minutes left. I didn't even look. If I looked, I would have seen those 30 minutes left. I would have known that this wasn't the ending. Then she's like, fuck all that, right? And it was kind of funny or whatever, right? Then like again, this the comedy in this movie is consistent, right? Like, that was like one thing that they really did have going. The comedy was like super consistent, like consistently good throughout. Like some like the issue like there's like a lot of shows, it's like the comedy just either sucks, or the comedy like they have like some jokes that land and then other ones just aren't. And this show, it's like all of them land, all of them are kind of funny, and then some of them are just like more funny than others. And that one got me the most. I think that one was just mainly funny to me though, because it actually got me. Normally those never get me. But anyways, it's all like hype, and I'm like, yeah, she's about to figure the fuck out, right? And she's like doing again the song, right? And I was like, oh, this is about earlier. And she's like grinding out this song, right? She's like the energy drinks, all that, right? Just dialed in, making this song. And early she said she doesn't remember how she was supposed to like finish or whatever, how it finished. She ends up finishing the song, and she's singing down the balcony while looking up at the moon, and the alien, the princess, whatever, she wore this bracelet the entire movie. Like, she never took it off. And she said a reminder of her home. That's what she said at one point, which I feel like I might be missing something. I feel like there might be a deeper meaning there, but I'll figure that out after I might end up giving this like a rewatch. I'll probably end up giving this like a rewatch in like 2-ish months or whatever. Like, I'm gonna give it some time, and then I'm just gonna give it a rewatch. But she ends up giving her the bracelet, and she ends up doing that, and then do like some weird like connection shit, yada yada. She ends up hearing the music, and then she starts coming over again, right? And she starts like flying out, and I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna be so hype. And this is where I'm like, okay, this is about to be it. This is the actual ending. She's gonna land on the planet, and then we're gonna get a happy ending, yada yada, Yuri bullshit, and it's gonna be amazing. I'm gonna rate this a 9 out of 10, okay? Because overall, it was a good film, outside of the fact that, like, you know, there was some parts here and there, like, you know, but, like, outside of that, like, it was all a good film, and as long as they ended off goodly, then, like, why should I complain, right? And they just don't do that. They're setting it up, we get the shots, they make you think, oh yeah, this is what's happening. And then, you know what they do instead? So then we see her, and she's, like, chasing down this little fucking guy, little fucking hairball, okay? We're just gonna call him like a hairball, okay? It's like this like little cretin, and he's always with like the #1 streamer, okay? And I don't really know the correlation, but he's there. He's like a pet, essentially, in my opinion, right? Like that's what he basically is, okay? And he's not an actual person. Basically, he old girl's a main streamer girl, whatever, is not with him, right? And she's like, where's yada yada at? Right, main character girl. And I'm like, I thought old girl was coming over. Why hasn't she came over? And when she was flying in, right, in those shots, there was like some like kind of like explosion looking like shit, and I was like, did what I think happened just happen? And it turns out it did. So what ends up happening is, instead of ending off happily and just giving us our ending, and we can just cap out the film like an hour and 50 minutes, and we get the happy ending, it's just perfect, and I can rate it a 9 out of 10 and glaze the show, or no, glaze this movie. No, instead they're like, we're not gonna do that. So then she's chasing down this creature, and then like it's like, follow me, yada yada, and she like they're like going over, and then they're like running around, and then they go in the real world, and she can see it in the real world and all this shit. And then like they go on this train, right, yada yada. She ends up going to this apartment, and there's this fucking apartment, and she opens up the door, and it's just a whole bunch of goddamn like fucking like this like entire like mother rig, just like rigged up, like a whole bunch of different like computers and all this other shit and all this like crazy shit in this room, and it looks like some fucking mad science laboratory, okay? And there's like this egg and like a fucking like goddamn like fish tank, if you will, and it looks like the same like fish tank kind of thing that the princess was flying back on when I was thinking we were about to get our happy ending. It looked like her like spaceship, and it was in that. And then we learn, like, she sees that. And then after that, let me see, make sure that I'm okay, yeah. After that, we go back into the virtual game. And what happens in the virtual game? The main streamer, right, I felt like it's been hiding something, the entire thing, right? We haven't really gotten a lot about it, right? Like, she's an important character, but like, I'm like, they're definitely just like hiding stuff about her, and I'm like, I don't know when they're gonna like reveal anything, but like, the entire film, I kinda got the vibe. I had two theories going. Either she was from the same planet, she was from the moon, right? I was gonna say planet, God. She was from the moon, like the princess, right? She was just like a different, like, another, like, I don't know, she's just from there. They're from the same place, okay? And she also left there and went to Earth. Or she was a past princess, because I was thinking in my head, they have this fairy tale, but like, how would they have this if the current princess is right here, right? Like, how would that make any sense, right? So I was like, but princess, like, that's like a family lineage kind of deal. So like, there could be like multiple, right? So I was thinking like, she's a past princess. I ended up learning she's a past princess, right? And I'm like, oh my god, I was fucking right. I don't know how correct I was though, because she's also technically, okay, so this is where they just started doing too much. This is where the ending dragged, because instead of ending off happily, they drag it, and we figure out she's a past princess. Okay, cool. And then they're like, so what happened was, she is the same princess, the same Kaguya, that we have seen the entire film. But she's also been alive for 8,000 years. And I'm like, how the fuck does that work? She was using the moon technology because, so when she started hearing like the song or whatever, that made her get her memories back because the moon people wiped her memory of Earth. When she started getting her memories back, she was like, oh, let me go back to Earth. But by that point, the girl that had bite the girl, she was old and dead or whatever, right? And she was like, oh, I'm just gonna use moon technology to go back in time. So she would use moon technology to go back in time, right? So that she could, you know, like then they could like live a happily ever after, happy ending. But instead, she hit an asteroid while doing that, which was that like thingy we saw in the fucking like and all that shit. And basically, she hit an asteroid. And then after that, she veered off course, and instead of going back just a couple years, like 80 to 90 years, she ended up going back fucking 8,000 years. And then she went all the way back in time, and she still had the memories and all that, right? But like, she was like, oh shit, I fucked up. And she couldn't fix it, and then she also lost her like spaceship, and in the process she also lost like her main body. So then the little creature, which was her companion that she left with, she had to communicate through that, and that thing was just like there, right? And then what happens, right? She can't exist like the physical, right? Because like she doesn't have a main body, whatever, right? Basically, her spaceship thingy was like too broken up to like go back to the moon, whatever. And what ends up happening then is she lives out 8,000 years alone. Okay, 8,000 years, you know, alone, whatever. And then in recent years, they developed technology and all this stuff, right? And that's similar to her moon shit. And then she was able to live inside the internet, and then that's why she ended up becoming this VTuber, yada yada, blah blah blah. And now she's in this like virtual reality game, and that's how she can exist. And I'm like, why are they doing this? Why are we doing any of this? Why did we end the film? The film should have ended 30 minutes ago. Why are we still like, why? Just why, right? For what purpose? And then, as like she's explaining all this, yada yada, and I'm like, this is kind of just sad and also depressing, and it's also just kind of like, because like now like the age gap, because like this girl's 15, but and like before it was okay because both of them were like that, but now she's like 8,000 and she's 15. I'm like, right? And then basically, she's yapping about this, and then she's like, I can memory wipe you so like you can just forget about me and all this other shit. And I'm like, this fucking sucks. This isn't my happy ending. And she's like, nah, we're not gonna memory wipe me. And she's like, tell me all about it. She's like, tell me all about the 8,000 years. And she's letting her yap about all the different periods, all the different things that happen. And then after that, she ends up falling asleep. The VTuber girl, whatever the fuck, right? And basically, or not the VTuber girl, the princess that we thought was the VTuber girl, which technically she is, but that's because she can't have a main body anymore. Then the fucking main character girl, she talking to like the little fucking cretin, right? The little hairball, and he's like, after this I have to go clean because my mom decided that she wants to clean the house tonight, I guess, on a Friday night. Like, I guess at 2 in the morning. But anyways, basically, okay, my throat's really dry. So basically, she's like, whatever, right? And like, she's like yapping to the hairball, and the hairball's like, she's like telling that, she's asking the hairball like, what she's not telling me, right? Because she's obviously not telling me something like that, right? Like, she gets like the feeling. And the hairball's like, I don't know if a human body can handle it. And he shows her, right, what like she wasn't telling him or telling her. And it was basically like us seeing like all like the things that she's seen or whatever, and like lived through them, like all these like different people that she's met over the years and all this other shit. And overall, that segment was pretty tough, don't get me wrong, like that was pretty cool. But at this point, I'm like, bro, like, why are we letting it drag like that? Why is it going on still? This, if they ended it 30 minutes prior and just let it be a happy ending, this would be a 9 out of 10. But now it's not. Now it's just not. It's just not as good, bro. And then, right, they're doing that, whatever. That causes her to collapse, yada yada. And then basically, they're having this like heart to heart, I guess, and like they're like crying, she wakes up, the princess girl, but the 8,000-year-old one, not the other one, right? That one, by the way, it's a cycle. I forgot to mention that, it's a cycle. So the 8,000 princess that we've seen the entire film, the current one, not the 8,000-year-old one, is her ship crashed, and she is now 8,000 years in the past, right now, as they're talking about this. And she's never going to be able to meet that one again, because that one's 8,000 years in the fucking past, okay? So, like, right, let's talk the current 8,000-year-old princess, whatever, right? Which is the same one, but from a different timeline, but from 8,000, it's confusing, right? It's not that confusing, but, like, I guess it's weirder to explain. And then she decides, or whatever, like, okay, I decided the next thing I'm gonna do, whatever, right? The main girl, okay? And she becomes like this like researcher and yada yada, and then 10 years later she develops a thing for the 8,000-year-old princess or whatever to exist in the real world, okay? Like gave her like this like artificial body so she can exist in the real world and shit. And after that, then I guess we get our ending or whatever, and I'm just like, brother, dude, the ending, like, no, man, just they did, bro. It just was so unneeded. Like, overall, I think that this entire extra segment, bro, it's just, first of all, it dragged the ending. Second of all, it made the story just like sadder, and it's just kind of like and like kind of unsatisfactory, I guess is the word I'm looking for. Like, if they had just ended it off with what it was going towards, right? At like a fucking, what was that? A goddamn hour and 50 minutes in? Yeah, an hour and 50 minutes in, or some shit. Like 51 minutes in. This film, in my opinion, I could have said was like an 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 easy, W, yada yada. And then they had to drag it, and it made the experience way worse. And it was just ass because of that. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'm not gonna say the entire film sucked. Like, this film didn't suck. I didn't feel like I wasted my time watching it, right? Like, it wasn't that bad. Like, first of all, the positives. Animation was good. Art was good. The music was good. The characters were likable. The voice acting was also good, I'm not gonna lie. The comedy, like I said, that was also good, right? The parts where it lacked was, first of all, the kind of like heavy, like making me like feel something from it, and kind of just like jawing around in it, right? Like making me like actually like have like an emotional impact from it. Like, they kind of lacked that for like the beginning kind of sections, or whatever. With like the entire like the virtual reality thing, like I kind of just didn't really feel anything, because like it was kind of like whenever like something like serious happened, I kind of didn't feel anything until towards the end, when they had the princess get taken away and all that shit, and like the confession at the same time. That's when I was like, damn, and I was just like, no, man, right? And that was good, right? That was like a good like sad part, because then it was gonna lead into this, oh, psych, happy ending, whatever, right? And if they had followed through with that, and they actually did it like that, that would have been great. And that's when the film would have been good. But then they didn't do that, and then they had this entire extra ending session that was just like, what the fuck, bro? Why are we going 8,000 years into the past and then having all this other shit happen, and why are we yapping about it and explaining all of it in 15 minutes? I'm like, brother, no, like I'm not gonna lie, bro. It just dropped the film for me, bro. It made it go from like a 9 out of 10 to like a, honestly, I'll give like a 7, like a 7. Like, I won't give it below a 7, because I feel like that's kind of like disrespectful towards the rest of the film and how good it could have been. But I feel like it just had so much more potential, bro. So much more potential. I'm kind of disappointed. I'm not gonna lie, I'm hella disappointed, because like I was going into this like not like the highest expectations, but I was expecting it to be like pretty fucking good overall. And like low key, I was thinking like there was like a chance that I was gonna like rate this as like one of like the best films I've ever seen or some shit, because like I don't know, I had high hopes, but then it just wasn't it, bro. Like, it had so much potential. If they just ended it at 1 hour and 50 minutes, it would have done it, bro. That would have done it, but they just didn't do that. They just decided to drag it, and that dragging it sold. It was like so unnecessary. It was so unnecessary, bro. Like, bro, it's like having it in the bag, and when you're in the middle of a fight, and then you start going for clips, and then you die. Like that's what they just did, bro. And it's like, why? Overall, I'm rating it like a fucking what's the word? 7 out of 10. Like, it was good. Would I recommend it? Yeah, if you like want a film to watch, like, yeah, like it's a good watch. Like, it's not like it's like bad. It's like it was a hard watch. Like, no, it was just like, this is the ending, bro. It's just like the ending, bro. Like, dude, they were doing too much. Like, they could have made it simpler. And like, if they wanted to do the most, like, they needed to do the most correctly. But like, overall, I didn't like the ending, bro. That was my only problem with it. If they had just simplified the ending and done what they were gonna do, or done what they could have very easily done, and with the election, everything was pointing towards, we could have just, I could have been sitting here glazing the show right now. I would have been glazing it. Or I keep on saying show, I mean movie. But like, overall, I guess it was something to watch. It was something to watch, and I'm glad I had something to watch, because I ain't trying to watch like Fear or anything like that, or like any of the shows that are airing right now, because I want to wait till all the episodes are out. So at least I had something to watch, and like, you know, it was a good 2 hours of my time used, I guess. But overall, like, I definitely end up giving it a rewatch. It's like there's certain like times where like certain like things that I could like pick up on better, especially when it's like a 2 hour film like this, and also just to get like a better like I guess, you know, just just get a better look at the film. Like, it's just one of those films that, like, it's like really good like visually and all that kind of stuff. So like, yeah. But overall, I guess I'll give it a 7 out of 10. Like, it's not like I absolutely hated it. It's just like the ending kind of ruined it for me, but I'll still give it a 7 out of 10, because before that they did that ending, I was really enjoying the film, and then they did that ending, and it was just like, ah, fuck. But overall, 7 out of 10. Like, that's really all I gotta say about it. I guess it's my yap session over. So adios.